An experienced firefighter was recently charged with grave neglect of duty. Prosecutors maintained that he had abandoned his responsibility when he failed to release rescue equipment. This resulted in the needless and tragic deaths of a family of 5. Eyewitnesses were sickened when they discovered that the reason the firefighter remained locked in the emergency vehicle was simply because he was testing a new high-tech CD player, which he maintained he had bought as a gift for the fire chief. The fire chief immediately distanced himself from the defendant, and he dishonorably discharged him from the department. In a prepared statement, the chief said, quote, "There are no words to describe such a betrayal of those he was sworn to protect." The lead prosecuting attorney argued that for more than 3 minutes after arriving on the scene, the firefighter wore earphones and listened to a CD while a family of 5 was screaming to be rescued from the 6th floor of a burning building. Horrified onlookers related that as flames licked her clothing, a mother cried out in terror and fell to her death while still clutching an infant in her arms. Other witnesses said that the father was clutching 2 terrified children as he was engulfed by the massive flames. This terrifying drama took place in full view of the firefighter as he remained seated in the vehicle listening to the CD. The defense pleaded no contest, but added that the defendant went to great personal sacrifice to purchase the expensive gift for the chief and hoped that the judge would take that into consideration as he passed sentence. What do you think is a fitting punishment for this serious crime? 2 years in prison? 20 years? A life sentence? Capital punishment? You be the judge. Please choose an answer because we're going to tell you more about this story later in the program.
And so began the first episode of The Way of the Master. It was based on Jude 22:23. Speaking of our moral responsibility as Christians, the Bible says, "And of some have compassion, making a difference, and others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh." It was just an analogy, but it held true. If you and I let someone die when we could save them, we're guilty of what criminal law calls depraved indifference, and we can be prosecuted. Charles Spurgeon said, "Have you no wish for others to be saved? Then you're not saved yourself, be sure of that." Maybe you could never stand on a soapbox and warn the lost, but you could hand out a gospel tract, or at least leave one with a checkout lady or in a shopping cart. Whatever you do, don't busy yourself with other things and neglect those who are heading for hell. Instead, plead with God to give you a love of which Jude spoke when he said, "And of some have compassion." Don't pray for less fear, pray for more love. And then you could look at some of our unique tracks on livingwaters.com. We've got a sample pack you could choose from. We exist to come alongside you and help you conquer your fears.